Welcome everyone to another compromised interview. Today I have with me quite arguably the most followed, recognized, popular personal trainers in Peoria.
Thank you.
Fitness phenom,
Yeah.
Steph Winter. I've had struggles with scheduling guests. This one, not to your fault, has been the most traumatic scheduling
I'm so sorry.
in my
I'm
life.
so sorry.
It's not your fault. I mean, it's
Well,
a
it's both of
combination.
us, yeah.
Yeah, a combination of
Yeah.
both of our schedules,
Yeah.
and then the last time obviously wasn't your fault with
Yeah.
technical difficulties, but
This is round 2, guys.
we made it. We made it. Take some time, if you don't mind, to introduce yourself, where you represent, what you do, and then we'll get into it.
Okay. So, Stephanie Winter. I am born and raised in East Peoria, across the river, so far. I'm born and raised here. I'm a personal trainer full time. I do remote training as well, so I live and breathe fitness pretty much.
Thank you. And you are training at the house.
The House Barbell Club, yes.
Yep. Right off Pioneer Parkway.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Full time.
You are an advocate of everything in moderation, especially when we talk about nutrition.
Yeah.
That being said, when we look at you, what is that guilty pleasure where you think to yourself, if I don't moderate this is going to be bad? So
It gets, okay, we all have our thing, and mine's Reese's peanut butter cups, the small ones, that come in like a big package and they're like individual. I could eat the crap out of a whole family bag if it's allowed if I bring it home.
Okay.
Multiple bags, actually. It has happened. It has happened.
So now that I know how extreme it can get,
Yes.
when you do have those peanut butter cup sessions, what's that look like? 4 of those?
A whole bag.
A whole
The
bag?
whole bag. I will sit there and eat the whole entire bag. And like afterwards, I'm like happy for like maybe 5 seconds. And then after that, I feel so sick to my stomach.
What are you doing when you're eating these? At least the show's on, or you just shut the lights off? And
I mean, sometimes it just depends. The lights can be off, on, TV, whatever,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's a guilty pleasure.
Yeah. I loved peanut butter cups like high school and probably beginning of college, and I've moved on, but I feel you on that
Addiction.
one. Yeah.
The addiction.
for
Yeah.
sure.
It's the sugar.
Yeah.
It's the sugar.
Mhm.
Yeah. I usually crave those or sometimes carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a lot of people. A lot of women, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can get a lot worse than peanut butter cups, though, right? Like you can justify peanut butter cups a little bit.
Sure. Yeah.
Peanut butter?
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Trainer says yes.
So we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
I like to think that I saw the beginning of your journey, but maybe I don't. It was a surprise to me, not in a bad way. But I just I didn't know the ramp up to that fitness journey.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me how that started, about when in your life it started and
Okay.
how.
So you knew me when I was in my 20s. I think that's when we met.
Mm-hmm.
Things were a little more wild back then. So we used to go out a lot. A lot of us big group of us, go out a lot, drink a lot. So at that time, I was very lost in my life, very depressed. You wouldn't have known that at the time because you saw me all the time. I was so happy.
Yep.
But yeah, very depressed, very anxious all the time. I had no direction in life. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Tried all sorts of different avenues, hated it all, still lost. And I think when I got in my upper 20s is when things started to click, and I kind of turned things around a little bit. I decided that I wanted to get myself out of this rut. So I decided I was like, I'm just going to run a marathon, full marathon, not even going to dip my toes in a 5K. I'm just going to go for full.
Yeah.
So I trained for that. I remember I would run from my house in Morton on the bike trail all the way to the Riverplex. I would do a lifting class, and then I would run all the way back from Morton. Yeah.
Wow.
When I was training for this. I would do this multiple times a week. And then I finally completed the marathon. I loved it. I was like, what else can I do? I loved that it was like making me feel better, making me, challenging me in new ways. So then I was like, well, what else can I do? So I got into bodybuilding. Someone was like, you should try this. I'll train you, blah, blah, blah. So I got into bodybuilding. I competed in that pretty aggressively for a couple of years. I won my pro card in bikini. I did that for a long time. And then that's when I think I started to decide that I wanted to be a personal trainer after that. So, yeah. And then here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. So you and I were talking about how I always try to talk less in these interviews, and
I want you to talk.
Yeah, so I want to follow your advice here. If you're interested, the moment I noticed it, and I'm sure you won't remember this, but I had people over one night.
Okay.
And it was not like a wild party. We were just getting together, and I think it was just for dinner.
Okay.
And I remember I was cooking it, and you were just going to leave. And I was like, where are you going? And you're like, I want to go to the gym. I was like, can't that wait? Like, we're having a party. Like, we're having a get together. You just leave. Like,
Yeah.
the food was still cooking. It had not been served.
Okay.
And you were like, I want to leave. I want to go to the gym. And I was like, where's this coming from? And eventually I got you to stay. We all got you to stay.
Okay.
But that was when I noticed. I was like, where is this going?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was like, because it just, again, it caught me off guard. And I also, like, remember that moment because I wanted to know where it was going, because that was around maybe what I consider the peak of my fitness. So
Okay.
I was starting to, like,
Okay.
I was really curious about other people's journeys. So I
Yeah.
wanted to watch it, and I've been watching it from
Yeah.
afar.
It changed my life. Fitness definitely changed my life for the better.
Yeah,
So,
for sure, for sure. And so you have your hands in a lot of things. Like,
Yep.
there's yoga project, you got personal training, but then you also offer many different types of programs or do different type of programs. So can we talk about some of that stuff? And I'll let you kind of start where you think is the most appropriate for you.
yeah. So, the things that I do, like, just not full time, I would say, is like the yoga project. So I'm there. I coach hot Pilates. That's kind of a newer thing for me. I got certified last year because I was like, what else can I add to my plate? You know, I'm already full. Let's do more.
Yeah.
So I wanted to try something different, and I got certified in that. And then I went to Betsy. Shout out to Betsy. You're awesome. And I gave her my ideas on how I wanted to combine, like, strength training with Pilates. And so we created a class called Pilates Sculpt. So it just adds a little more intensity, more strength training into the Pilates. So that's my specific class that I teach. I only do it one day a week on Fridays. I also coach boot camp classes. Shout out to Mishi.
All over the place.
I know.
Okay.
So I do that once a week. They're boot camp classes. So those they run all week, but I only coach one day a week there. But my full-time job is personal training. So I train anywhere from 50 to 60 sessions a week in person.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. So I've gotten to the point where it's like, it's more semi-private. So one person's warming up, the next person's in the middle of their workout, and there's someone finishing up. So I kind of rotate them through like that. Everyone has their own personalized workout. You know, everyone still gets that one-on-one attention, but that's the only way I can get them all in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to have to start turning people away, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Because I want to help as many people as I can. So yes, I have that. And then I also do remote training. So people that are more self-motivated, I give them workouts and nutrition to do on their own. And I check in with them weekly, multiple times a week sometimes, to keep them accountable. So I have a lot of that too.
Okay.
Bunch of different programs on the remote side. So I do one called Elevate. That one is a strength training program for women. And then I have a program called Burn, and that is strength training plus cardio, so it's more for weight loss.
Okay.
I'm getting ready to launch a men's program, so watch out for that, called Winter Gains.
Okay. All right. I'll be asking about that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It'll be weightlifting, so for men that, you know, trying to get jacked, I'm here for you.
Jacked.
Yeah. And then I also do like the personalized stuff. So if they don't want to just follow one of those programs, I build them something more personalized for them and the equipment they have and so on.
Okay.
So that's the remote side. And then I also coach kids, Girls of Strength. That one's really cool because I I didn't have that. We didn't have that when we were younger.
Nope.
So I teach girls that the right way to lift, that it's cool to be strong, teach them some confidence while they're at it. So it's been really cool.
Where did that come from, the Girls of Strength? Where did that idea pop into your head? I know you said that you didn't have that.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
really
why. Yeah, because we never had that. I would have been a much better athlete if I had that when I was younger and we didn't have that kind of stuff. And, when we were younger, all the women are supposed to do cardio.
Yeah.
Let's do cardio and
Yeah.
step aerobics, and which I'm not dissing on that, but I mean, they wasn't drilled into our head that strength training is the way to go. So I have been working with some high school athletes and stuff like that on building strength. And then I decided, hey, let's do a Girls of Strength program. And it's really taken off. So
Yeah.
it's really fun to watch them.
Because the stigma when we were growing up, kind of like you were talking about, was strength training. You always hear the thing, I don't want to get big like a guy. I don't want to look like a guy. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's that one that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
We can't get bulky, ladies. We
Yeah.
can't.
And yeah, it's because I would listen to that, and it was almost like discounting the hard work that it takes to
Right,
get bulky
right,
in general. Because I
right.
remember I was trying to bulk up. It was taking me several years. I'm like, it's not that easy. Like, you don't just
You don't
get
just
bulky
magically
overnight.
happen by
Yeah.
lifting a dumbbell
Yeah,
once.
yeah.
It takes time and it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
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 So I see, a lot of women, especially, they come to me, they're like, I just want to tone up. I don't want to get bulky. But what you're really saying is, I want to put on muscle, because you can't tone muscles you don't have, right? So when women come to me say they want to tone up, I automatically know they're saying, I want to put on muscle.
Yeah.
They just don't realize they're saying that. So then I kind of cater their program and their nutrition towards that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So Pilates, because not everyone knows what that is. It's probably a pretty basic question, but what would you tell someone that doesn't know anything about Pilates, especially the way that you do it? How do you run that?
So the way I run it is it's very core focused. Focuses a lot on elongating the muscle. But yeah, very core focused. Everything centered around the core. So it's really great for pretty much anyone, men and women. I get a lot of men in there too. A lot of men get their butt whooped. They're
Okay.
just like, wow, that was hard. Because it's stuff they never do, right?
Yep.
But then I incorporate the weights in there. They're not heavy weights by any means. They're like, I think the heaviest is maybe a 10 at the most. So, yeah.
It is pretty tough. I won't name brands in terms of the programs that I used to do, but when I worked at Anytime Fitness as a trainer, some of the sometimes trainers work out together in their
Yeah,
off times.
yeah.
And I remember two females invited me into one of their sessions. We did one of those, you go to the kiosk, you put it in, we work out
Yeah?
together on the screen. And
Did you do Pilates?
it was like a high intense, it was Pilates type. Like it
Okay,
was,
okay.
And I remember I was like, man, I lift heavy. I'm doing all this stuff. I went in there and put a little bit more weight on than the women, and I was like, dead.
Were you very
after, like-
humbled after that?
Yeah, oh yeah. I remember looking over at the women. They were killing it. I was
Yeah.
like, this is
Most
nonsense.
men, when they walk into stuff like that, they're like, wow, I'm
Yeah.
very humbled.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had men come in like, oh, I thought this was stretching. No,
Yeah.
you're not stretching here.
Yeah.
I mean, you will a little bit, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It's
I
not
don't-
yoga, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was. It was humbling.
They underestimate it, I think.
Yeah. So the one thing I like about your packages, because you and I have talked for my wife and all this
Yeah.
stuff, and you are always very adaptable. So
Yeah.
I think people get scared that they're going to get locked into something that doesn't work for them.
Yeah.
Because you cover it from, like you said, nutrition, the actual workout. You can cater it to the equipment that they're working with, whether it be at home or the gym. So didn't know if you want to elaborate on some examples that you've done or just
Yeah.
talk more to that.
So everyone is so different. You cannot train the same people the same way, because especially if it's more personalized, right? And the hardest part is getting people in the door, right? Everyone wants to do it and they're scared, but they're just scared to come. As soon as they get in the door, they're fine, right? The hardest part is getting newbies through the door. And once they get in, they're like, oh, this wasn't so bad. That was kind of fun, right? But everyone starts at different levels, different injuries, different lifestyles, different ages. I have people all the way from 8 all the way up to 80 years old. So obviously the 8-year-old's going to train much differently than the 80-year-old or, my 30-year-old, right?
Yep.
So there's ways to train each individual so that their individual needs are met. Same thing with nutrition. I'm not going to give you the same nutrition as I'm going to give myself, right? Because different goals, different body types, different sexes, right? So everything is very catered towards that individual. And I think more people need to realize, like, you know, I'm not, if someone's going to wants to come in and tone up, I'm not going to give them a ton of cardio because that's not what they need, right? So it's very customized.
And the other thing I like about you is that you're very adaptable, again, to where people are at in their fitness journeys. Well, you're kind of talking to that, but I remember when you and I were talking, it was like, well, we can do it almost like a slow entry, this slow ramp up, and then adjust it along the way.
Yeah. So everyone starts somewhere, you know. Some people start with just a basic air squat with no weight, and then, you know, before you know it, they have a barbell on their back. Like, it just takes progression, right?
Yep. And some things that we talked about also is just like confidence that comes with it.
Right. Just getting them in the door and feeling comfortable, that's a lot of it right there. Once they start feeling comfortable and like, hey, I can actually do this, then they're like, okay, let's put some weight on there now. You know what I mean? So it's building that confidence, and it's usually just takes getting them in the door.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone who is, like maybe someone listening who's been thinking about this for a long time, who's timid, lacking the confidence?
Okay.
What would you say to
Come
them?
see me.
Yeah.
No, just walk, just go in the door. Get in the door is what I gotta say to every single person that's timid and scared. The hardest part is getting through the doors, right? And then once you're there, it's gonna be okay. That's the hard. Like, I find that the hardest for women is just getting them there.
Yeah.
Once they're there, they're fine.
Yeah.
So
Going through the movements and all of
Right.
that stuff? Or?
that's the easy part.
Yeah.
It's just walking in that door, right?
Yeah. And I'm asking you to speculate a little bit here, but why do you think it is difficult for people to walk through that door?
Confidence.
Yeah. Back to the confidence, huh?
It's a confidence thing, and like the unknown, it's kind of scary. And, you know, maybe someone let themselves go and maybe they're embarrassed. You know, I get a lot of that. Like, so a lot of women say, I'm embarrassed, I let myself go. You know, I had kids, life, whatever, and I haven't done anything for years. I think it's a lot of confidence. They don't want people to see them that way, see them, you know, that low. So, and I get it. It's tough. And that's why some people do start like remote training first. They do it at home, and then they build up that courage and that confidence, and then they start coming to me because some people do a hybrid, right?
For sure.
So,
In your experience, do you think people struggle most with the movement side of it, the physical side, or the nutrition?
nutrition.
Really?
That's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, if you could come and slap food out of my hand, it'd be great. I'm
Yeah.
like, you can charge a little extra for that.
Do you think it's because they go into it with this false perception of what it should be? Like, do you think they, maybe Google what it's supposed to look like? Like you mentioned, my program is going to look different from yours. Do you think they go out there, they see this boilerplate type thing where it's like it has to look like this, and that's where they fail?
Well, I think there's a lot of stuff on social media people are seeing, and they're following this, and then they're following this. They're not sticking to one plan. They're like, trying a little bit of this. We're trying a little bit of that. But that's not going to work for you, right? Especially if you don't stick to a plan, right? So if you're dabbling a little bit of everything, that's not really a plan, and it's probably not your plan. So it's like you got to find a plan that works for you and not everyone else.
Yeah. How do you feel about those social media influencers?
So a lot of them are not educated in fitness.
Ooh.
A lot of them, like, I've seen a lot out there where it's, they got themselves in shape, which is great. I think that's awesome. And then they automatically think they're a trainer. Mm-hmm. And just because you can get yourself in shape doesn't mean you can coach others. Because not everything worked, because they're probably going to coach what worked for them. And that's not going to work for everybody, right? So I see a lot of that. And then a lot of the workouts I can see out there are a little crazy. They try to get a little creative when sometimes it just takes, it's the basics. Yeah. The basics are the basics for a reason. So everyone's trying to make all these really fancy moves to jazz them up when really you don't need all that. You just need the basics, and they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of the social media stuff.
Okay.
It can get cringy.
Yeah, it's popular.
It's very popular.
A lot
TikTok,
of likes,
those
yeah.
TikTok videos. Well, yeah, that's what makes it so attractive. And you see someone that's doing these things that's very attractive, and you want to look like them. So I get that.
Yeah.
And I get that a lot. So I understand the appeal.
Yeah. You and I opened up the convo with how we got introduced to each other, and it was in a crazy time of our
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
lives. So
Fun time. Crazy.
both of us have grown.
Yeah.
The show is about you, and we've talked about this over and over again, how much you've grown and where you've come from. What would you say was the biggest compromise that you had to make in life to make that change?
So I had to start sitting at different tables. That doesn't mean I cut everyone out of my life, that I'm not friends with people that I was once friends with in my 20s. Like, I'm still friends with you, still friends with all these people. We might not be as close, which is fine, different phases of life. But I had to start sitting at tables that were going in the direction I kind of was with my life, like wanting to better themselves, talking about their goals and things they want to accomplish and do, instead of talking about what they're going to drink on a Saturday night, right? So I had to just change my circle a little bit. Sitting at different tables.
Yeah. How has that worked for you? Because I had to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I had a lot of easy outs in terms of, marriage happened, kids happened, and where we moved physically helped ease that conversation where people understood that easily. That's not the same for everyone. So has that worked well for you? Or?
Well, I haven't had a lot of hard conversations like that because I'm still, friends with the people I've been friends with in my 20s. Yeah. I might not see them as much because I'm probably spending more time with people that are, a little more goal-oriented and wanting to better themselves a little bit more. So I don't think I really had a lot of those hard conversations or had to have those. But they're all good people. We just, we grow up, we change, things change, and I like to be around people with that growth mindset. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we talked about your programs.
Yeah.
I think Girls of Strength just started.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what, if we can kind of put your own plug out there, let's talk through everything that you're offering up, but you're probably going to run through the same thing, though, right? So Girls of Strength has started.
Girls of Strength is starting now. It's usually a 6-week program.
Okay.
Right now I'm doing ages 8 through 12. And then I teach them how to lift properly with good form, teach them confidence.
Yep. And then so getting back to the men's thing, tell us more about that because that's coming up. So
I'm going to launch that here soon. It's a men's progressive overload lifting program. So it'll come with 4-week blocks, meaning you'll do the same workouts for 4 weeks. And the reason for that, it's the most studied scientific way of lifting, right? It's known to get the best results. It's been studied all over. But yeah, the same movements for 4 weeks, and you build in strength on those every week, trying to get stronger, push more weight, push more reps, and then after those 4 weeks, the movements change. Okay. So that one's coming.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a combination of maybe like 4 or 5 different workouts for 4 weeks then? Or
Yep.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
And then, so before we get out of here, what are some of the best ways to get in contact with you?
You can find me on Facebook or Instagram. You can also find me on the house website. My email, you can email me at stephanie@thehousepeoria.com. I'm not going to get my phone number out.
No problem. I'll put up the information that
Yeah,
you do
yeah,
want to
yeah,
put
yeah.
out, and then we'll leave it at that. So everything we're talking about, Yoga Project, the boot camp was at Sculpt
Mode, yeah.
And then you're actually doing your personal training out of
The House Barbell Club. Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. All right.
If you reach out to me, I would love to take care of you. I've helped many people, different ages, sexes, you name it. I've seen it all, so I'd be happy to help.